Hi, look at me. Still learning, still learning. Go touring, go touring. All right, this says that I am alive in the places. Hello, voluptuaries. It is me, Torin, the pleasure priestess. Okay, I just wrapped up the coronation. It was 8 days of training. It was 8 days of learning and unlearning, which is perfect because one of the courages that I ask for people to come to when they come into my space is the willingness to learn and to unlearn and to relearn. And that was definitely an opportunity for me this week, right? To unlearn, relearn, and to learn. Some of the things I learned, which is what this live is all about. I know, I promised the very next time I came live, I was going to tell you some of the things I used to do and some of the things that I do now, and I will. But first, some of the things that I learned. One of my very next Queen Commandment, hire. Okay, I'm going to need some support. So I will be hiring some tech support on the back end and tech support during. And I have learned a lot about me and tech, and I'm still learning it, right? I have learned that I can learn it. I have learned that it's not this thing that is unattainable for me to understand. I have also learned I don't like doing it. So, one of my very next Queen Commandments is I will get to higher tech. It is becoming a zone of excellence for me. Like I excellently handled the tech this week. Yes, of course, there were snafus. I didn't say perfectly. I said excellently. Notice there's a difference. I excellently handled the tech this week and whew, the tech this week, right? So it is not my zone of genius. There are people out there that, I mean, there's a whole department called IT, right? There are people out there whose tech is their passion, their purpose, their joy, their pleasure. Tech is not that for me. It is, like I said, becoming a zone of excellence. I handled the tech this week excellently, but it is not my zone of genius. And my desire for me and for all of you is to have the opportunity to shine in your zone of genius. Tech is not mine. But, right, and in the coronation this week, my zone of genius, which is receiving the divine gospel of pleasure and pouring it out upon you, also got to show up this week. I had so much fun. It was such a joy to show up every week. I remember what it's like to step in and to serve off of my own curriculum versus someone else's, and how much fun that is, and how freeing that is for me, and hopefully for those who got to attend. The freedom to step into their body, to listen to their body, to move not because the beat is requiring this movement at this time, but to move because your body desires to be fed in this way. Ugh. All right. It was so luscious. If you missed it, Mm. If you signed up, you will have access to the replay. Yay, replay, right? That's one of the things in the tech world that I did. The replays were up just about every day. So I'm excited about that. So if you signed up, the replays will be available. If you didn't sign up, you will have access to the replays once they go on sale, once everybody who did sign up has consumed them to their heart's content. Um, yeah, some other things I want to talk about because I am no longer keeping their secrets. I am gonna tell it, tell it, tell it, tell it, tell it. We used to have a cheer that me and my cousins used to do when we were little. That was tell it, tell it, tell it like it is. Why don't you tell it? My name is Torin. Tell tell. I'm on the line. Tell tell. And here are some of the things that I experienced this week. I experienced being Zoom bombed. We were my slides were graffitied. And here is the great thing that I've learned. I have a waiting room, and there were names on there, and I hit the admit all button versus just admitting one at a time. So, like the Trojan horse that this DEI diversion conversation is, I just admitted all, and they came in and tried to take over the Zoom and tried to keep the gospel of pleasure from being delivered, and I will not be deterred. I am devoted. So my experience of that, the first day that it happened, I didn't know what was happening. I was like, what is this? What's happening? All of my slides had like a red crayon across it, like my face was crossed out and all the things. Um, they tried to take over, they tried to record. Like I kept getting requests to record to this computer, to record to the cloud, to allow in their AI. So that being said, I obviously denied all of their requests, and then I shut down that call and we came back and we had a great day that day. Those requests continued all week long. Even today, someone showed up, and again, I admitted them in and I asked, "How did you hear about me? What brought you here? I need to either see your face or you need to tell me the name that you registered with." Right? Because sometimes we register with names of things that are like our play name, and then our Zoom name is not the same. So I was like, "I need your Zoom name to match the name that you registered. So tell me the name that you registered with, or I will be removing you." And I firmly set that boundary. And then I gave that 10-second warning. And then I shut that shit down. And I had people come in whose names were on a register, so names I recognized, and then showed graphic displaying bad pictures or try to copy names of other people who were already in the group. And then, they were removed and reported, removed and reported, removed and reported, removed and reported. So I want to make it very clear that I will be reporting everybody who needs to be reporting. And then I had people try to admit. Now, how they got the Zoom link, I don't even know because I did all the things after the first day, shut down my password, changed passwords, disabled the app, reloaded the app. I did all the things that I know to do. So if there's something else that I could incorporate into my process, and you're a tech Zoom genius, please let me know. Because I am not only devoted to preaching the gospel of pleasure, I'm devoted to creating a safe space for those who choose to step into their power in this way to do so. And so I want to thank those of you that showed up this week. I want to thank those of you who registered. I want to thank the kings of you who stood by and protected us energetically. I want to thank the kings of men who know the importance of women of being in their power. I want to thank the kings of men who choose to support women being in their power, who are turned on by women being in their power. I want to thank the women who are willing to step forward. I want to thank the women who are willing to surrender themselves to themselves. I want to thank the women who are willing to trust me to be their guide because I am your guide and you ignite you, you heal you, and you are allowed to turn yourself back on. So thank you for being willing to be turned on this week and forevermore. Some of the things that I used to do before that I do the things that I do now. I used to curate and create spaces for people to play in. I used to be a camp director, and I would come up with the curriculum for the entire camp. I would hire the guest teachers. I would plan the field trips. That is actually what I still do. Seasons of the Sovereign, which is my next invitation for women who are ready to expand their craftness of their womanhood. It is an academy of expansion, Seasons of the Sovereign. And it is a space where we will gather and field trips. There will be 4 in-person retreats. It will be a space that I am steadfast on being devoted to our pleasure and our practice of expanding that. It'll be a place of education. I have guest teachers lined up, like menopause geniuses, um, all sorts of great surprises. It'll be a place of gifts. I will just be gifting and gifting and gifting and gifting all 12 months. So if you missed the coronation and you know that this is what you need a place where you can safely discover and play in the power of you. You are invited to Seasons of the Sovereign. Um, Other things that I used to do, I used to be a professional reader. That is like one of my favorite jobs. So I used to sit and allow the imagination to expand by using my voice. I still do that. I still create space where you are allowed to imagine yourself fully in your power. You are allowed to imagine the diverse tapestry of your queendom, of your sovereignty, of your divinity, and you are allowed to experience it because it's experiential with me. I used to own and run a bakery called Torrance Tasty Treats, and that was all about bringing pleasure back to food. And let's start with dessert. Because when we decide to transform our life, the very first thing that we decide needs to go is our pleasure, right? Like our favorite coffee spot or our latte or, all of those things that actually turn us on. So I had a bakery that was all about bringing pleasure back to food. What do I still do? I still invite places where you can actually experience your dynamic transformation using the resource of your pleasure. Your pleasure is a sustainable resource. Your pleasure is your pathway to joy. And joy is of divine, is of God. And your pleasure is your pathway to joy. So that's what I do. That's what I learned this week. I learned a lot this week. I played a lot this week. I had a lot of fun this week. It is my honor, great pleasure, and my divine purpose to serve you the gospel of pleasure, and it'll be in a variety of ways. Coming up, there are seasons of the sovereign for women who are intrigued, who are ready to be in their power, who are ready to learn and expand and educate themselves about themselves. That is a 12-month group mastermind. There is Love Notes, which will be available in February for all identities to come and play in the conversation of your self love. There will be me at the Melanated Sex Expo, whoop, 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 my very first expo. I'm doing a lot of firsts this year. So I'll be at the Melanated Sex Expo in Tucson in February. There's a link to that on my website as well. I even have a code, MSE Torin, will help you get 10% off your tickets. It is the Melanated Sex Expo where melanated bodies will be the focus and the center. And those who love and honor and appreciate melanated bodies are also invited. And that'll be in February in Tucson. And then Seasons of the Sovereign will start in March. Then I will also be I'm bringing back TNA, Tap In and Activate. Again, it will be for all bodies and it will be $69.69. So more info to come. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your witness. Thank you for your protection, your love, your prayers. Keep those coming. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I am moving on and still I rise. And my invitation is that we all rise together, right? That we all rise together, that it is time to put on your power hat, to crown up, to reconnect to your body, and to rise up in our divine sovereignty. All right. Take care of you. Take care of your pleasure. Thanks for being here. I'll see you when I do. I don't know when that'll be, but if you want to be notified when I go live, click the little notification button wherever that is, and you'll get notification. And I'll try to do it, semi regularly, and I'll decide what regularly is. I don't know that answer yet. Maybe once a month. I don't know. I'm not making any promises because I haven't decided. I need to reconnect with my own body and ask what that decision is. So take care of you. Take care of your pleasure. Thank you for being here. I'll see you when I do.